Now, if I've done something to you, just tell me what I've done to you.
Well, you didn't do anything to me. I just don't like you no more.
You didn't like me yesterday.
You don't want to be friends with you no more. What is he, 12?
What the hell's going on with you, me feckin' brother?
He's dull, Siobhan.
But he's always been done.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day.
Well, it wasn't me little donkey's shite, it was me pony's shite, which shows how much you were listening.
So when it came to it and this opportunity came up to bring back the In Bruges partnership, was there any hesitation on your part? Or was it very much just an instant yes?
Oh, everything but hesitation. No. I ran towards the opportunity. The only hesitation and the only kind of little bit of trepidation I had was because I knew it'd be fun, but I knew it'd be a sad experience as well. Yeah. I mean, Martin builds these intricate but very dark corners and he throws you into them and asks you to work your way out, you know, so I knew it would be tricky sometimes. But the idea of working again with B and Martin 14 years later was extraordinary.
No, it was pure anticipation, and that was it. There's nothing else there.
Yeah. And I don't know how much you pay attention to like online talk about the film because you've had like the standing ovations, you've had like the 100% Rotten Tomatoes rating, but it feels like a lot of people are just talking about Colin's eyebrows. And your eyebrow acting.
I'm aware my eyebrows have had a lot of press.
In that one thing. So did it feel like when you were doing this, you were doing like the most eyebrow acting you've ever done in your life, showing off the whole face?
No. I could show you films where I've done more eyebrow acting. They just didn't find the audience that this one has found already.
Yeah. Was it hard when you were opposite that, Brendan, like with Colin doing his best puppy dog face to be mean to him?
Yeah, no, we had decided that we had kind of come to the conclusion that our job was to make each other's lines hard to say. So that did happen. Yeah, it became, and I realised that it was up to me to stand my ground with my own character and stand foursquare behind him, and to fight his corners as to make it as difficult as him. How many times do you have to be told just to leave it alone? Like the guy isn't listening. And on the other hand, I'm looking at this heartbreaking in front of me and how on earth can you maintain this? And I think it is, I've had those breakups. So, you know, where you're trying to negotiate something and what is it? It's nothing about you. Well, then why? Like this is like, we make a laugh about it. It's not me, it's you. But it's like...
No, but letting someone down lightly, if you let them down lightly, maybe they won't land where they're supposed to land.
It's cruel.
You know,
and if you do it and you
thing.
chop it off the knees, you know, it looks like what...
I mean, the greatest mistake he makes is the next day he tries to say to me, listen, I was out of order yesterday. I spoke too harshly. Sure, I see that as... Will we go and see a movie this weekend? Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's like an opportunity.
That is interesting.
Date, you know?
That is an interesting thing. Like, I'd have been better off just being the swine of the drama and say, no, he's just that fella wasn't worth bothering about. Instead of which I tried to lighten, and I bet you it was the eyebrows.
Yeah, definitely.
always comes back to the eyebrows.
And Martin's great in his films that he never gives you easy answers. It's never like an easy round circular.
There's no good guys, bad guys, right or wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when this comes out next week, what are you hoping the audience take away from it when they finish watching?
For 15 minutes of silence followed by many hours of talk, because
that'd be great.
That's kind of what happened to me after watching it. I really didn't want to say anything for 10 or 15 minutes to process what was going on, and then you begin to tease it out, and it's really interesting when it's a fantastic thing about cinema is that you can go and talk to 7 or 10 different people immediately afterwards, and you can talk to 30 people in the next couple of days after that, and they'll all have an intake and they'll all have an insight that maybe you wouldn't have had, or a take on it that you didn't quite agree with. So that's what I hope happens. I've no doubt that it will.
As long as they feel something that's just not boredom.
Yeah, and there's no definitive thing you're thinking of when it comes out of it, because that's the beauty of it, I feel like.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not, you know, our job, I think, is to just approach the material as authentically as possible and understand that the meaning will be derived in all sorts of ways by various different people, you know?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at my wife's reaction.
To the film?
It wasn't entirely
she thought you were brutal, didn't she?
It wasn't entirely sympathetic to me, no.
No, she wasn't, but that'll be as much to do with, well, anyway.
As long as she didn't think that you were like that in real life, I mean.
A little bleeding over.
And just finally, obviously the obvious question is, you're already looking at the third collaboration together with Martin McDonagh, like you two and him, or is it just if it organically comes up?
I can't. If you're in this business long enough, you know, like about like maybe 10 minutes, then you understand that you can depend on absolutely nothing.
Ball's in his court very much, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how it works for him, and he won't come back with us until he's happy that you know, it was
I
one
mean,
of
this
the
was
things
7
he
years in
said.
the making. It was
That's
7
right.
years ago we read the first version of this, and I was ready to do that version. And you know, the couple of little bits and pieces, I think we both would have done that version. He thought it was shite. He said, I just kept the first 5 minutes.
But he
of that
didn't want.
version.
He kind of said a few times, "I don't want it to be worse than
Then
In
in
Bruges."
Bruges, exactly.
Like, why would you go back to do something worse than In Bruges?
Yeah,
So
he's a great respect for himself and the audience.
That's a
To
hard.
be honest with you.
He's his own tough taskmaster,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
that. So yeah, it'd be brilliant if it came back.